Hey yo, what's good you guys? It's Boomer and Jared watching Bali Star. Today, we's getting into Jamari, This Can't Happen. Now on the thumbnail, it's got the new Snow White movie about to come out, you know what I'm saying? And a negative 100 million on the thumbnail as well. Now I'm thinking it's like 100 million in the whole is of how the actress had been talking about the movie in her interviews and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Past interviews, like dating back up to like a couple months, maybe to a year. And how it's saying it's her own perceptive view of the iteration of the movie. So, yeah, man, let's get straight on into it. Let's go.
It's been almost a year since I last talked about the Snow White situation, where an actress personally tanked the release of $100 million movie before it ever even hit theaters. This of course all came in the wake of several interviews lead woman Rachel Zegler would do, where she was very critical of the original Snow White movie that she would now be starring in.
I know that you've told me before that your version of Snow White is different, and it's more of a 2022 version of Snow White. What did you mean by that?
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story.
So.
With a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
Now this was a surprise to people because at first she had seemed pretty grateful for this opportunity.
Every day on Snow White was a pinch me moment. I was surrounded by the best crew and the best people ever, and even just getting to see our director Mark today was just like, oh, right. We made a movie and it's really wonderful and it's yummy and it feels really delicious in my heart.
But then something...
I'm just saying, it's like, if it was a worldly renowned movie, regardless of what you thought it was and how it was perceived, it was like one of Disney's first animated movies. You know what I'm saying? Get the Walt Disney Hallmark of Fame. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, to be the catalyst of the many great Disney movies. It's like, why try to downplay that now that it's a new age, a new era, like, you know, a new generation. It's like people still love those movies. People still go to Disneyland partly to see all those characters. Snow White being one of them. So it's like, it's still like highly praised. So to go and just ish on it like that, bro. Well, just say those type of things just because it's a new generation. And we all know how new generational iterations of these old classic films go. So why would you try to play into that more? I mean, I don't know if she personally knows, like, you know, how these new generational iterations of these old films go. I'm not sure if she's aware of that. So in that part, you know what I'm saying, like, she might get a pass. But if she is aware of how these things go, then it's like, why play into that thinking that this is going to be any different? Girl, play your role. Know your role.
Obviously changed.
And do your
there
role.
Were other instances where she would be caught straight up lying about her experiences with the film and with Disney in general.
I'm a really big Disney fan. I grew up at the Disney parks. My parents took me every summer.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, so it's like, it's a part of my upbringing. It's my favorite thing, so. I was scared of the original cartoon. I think I watched it once and then I never picked it up again. Was terrified of it. Never revisited Snow White again. So I watched it for the first
That
time.
has me think, like, that has me thinking. It's like, do these people that cast these actors and actresses, like, you know, do they talk to them about the roles and, you know, see what their thoughts are about the movie before they cast them? Or do they just do a whole blind reaction to it? You know what I'm saying? A whole, oh, I ain't gonna say blind date, but like a whole blind cast to it. You know what I'm saying? Be like, oh, Well, I think she could look like Snow White, but I don't want to talk to her, you know, like get to know her as a person, hear what her thoughts are about the movie. Let's just cast her.
In probably 16, 17 years when I was doing this film.
Now obviously these interviews and the side-by-side lies would go super viral. And the Disney people are very serious about their movies. So they were out riding in the streets
Where they
over
get
this
those
news, and the
PNGs from, bro?
side-by-side lies would go super viral. And the Disney people are very
these AI
serious
made?
about their movies. So they were out riding in the streets over this,
Justice for
looting the
Grumpy.
local Toys R Us.
My wife let
And
me.
overall it seemed like every time she opened up
Wait,
her mouth, looting the
is it
local
let
beats
or
about
left?
their movies. So they were out riding in the streets over this, looting the local Toys R Us.
That ain't funny. That
And
ain't
overall
funny.
it seemed like every time she opened up her mouth,
Weird.
it was hurting this movie and its future release. Disney in general has had issues with several of their live-action remakes, as they are mostly known over the last couple of decades for not being able to hold the jockstrap of the original films. And when people specifically speak about Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Disney fans seem to hold it up in a very high echelon, as it is largely considered to be the origin of the full-length animated film, premiering for the first time back on December 21st of 1937. And let me just tell you guys right now that these people love that fucking mouse. To me, it's almost like he has mind control on their ass that makes them fly all the way to California.
Dude, not even California, Florida. Because I've been to Disneyland Orlando, Disney World it was called. But yeah, nah, man. It's like even with, you know, if y'all heard about the Disney Plus situation, you know what I'm saying? A recent person like, you know, was off or something. I think in Disneyland or something happened. Something happened where the person was off, and the company Disney said, "Yo, if you sign up for Disney Plus, and you know what I'm saying, then you're liable to us." Basically, like, you know, we hold a certain thing over you, you know what I'm saying? So whereas if something like that happens, hey, you know, like, you know, we still have the advantage or some ish like that. You feel me? I don't know exactly what it is, but it's like, bro, all y'all see how Disney really acts in those type of situations regarding y'all, and y'all still love it. Y'all are slaves to the corporation, man. These are blatant slaves. If this is not proof, man, that's why, you know, I don't really do Disneyland like that, bro. Because I know the history of Disneyland, you know what I'm saying? Their business practices, you know what I'm saying? The way they conduct business. And, you know what I'm saying? How they truly care about people. It just amazed me, like, that they made movies as good as that, being the way they are. I'm like, the moral compasses are just, like, on a scale, bro. Like, what the heck? You know what I'm saying? In terms of making good, like, you know, moralistically excellent movies, but yet your whole corporation, you know what I'm saying? Like, the whole business of Disney is just like the total opposite. That baffles me, and I always wondered how, why. People, what the heck?
Spend hundreds of dollars on a hotel.
That's kinda hard, I ain't gonna lie,
$40
those
to
towels.
park, hundreds of dollars to enter Mickey's asshole, and of
Enter
course
Mickey's-
you cannot forget.
Oh, lick the inside of it.
To
Like,
park, hundreds of dollars to enter Mickey's asshole.
just for a funnel
and of course,
cake.
you cannot forget $70 on some
On
stupid ass ears
ears,
with a $20
nigga.
churro in their
$20
hand.
churros.
Screaming kids everywhere, long ass lines.
Oh my
Not
God.
to mention the rides kinda suck.
They
I mean,
suck! They suck! They suck! They suck! Dang it. Like, people just go for just the aesthetic, bro. Yeah, just because it's just the whole aesthetic of, you know, the fantasy of it. That's why bitches love that. Love Disneyland, man. It's a getaway. It's an escape from the real world for them. You feel me? But me, I'm not even into Disney like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, the movies are tight. Some of the movies are tight. My favorite Disney movies are Lion King, Tarzan. You know what I'm saying? Like, real brash and bold ones. You feel me? But, you know, the rest are cool. They're still morally excellent. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, I don't know, man. Yeah, you know, it's different for women. It's different.
I don't know. I just don't really see the appeal.
It's all about the
but
aesthetic.
This means something to them, damn it. And so they were up in arms. And with damn near 100 years between the two releases of these films, obviously some things are going to be changed. But when that change comes at the core messaging of the film or some of the main
I remember seeing the trailer and people were nitpicking it, you know what I'm saying? Saying that like, oh, Snow White doesn't help the Seven Dwarfs clean. Well, first it wasn't even the like Seven Dwarfs. They made like the 7 different races of people. And then, you know, due to backlash of that, they changed back to the 7 Dwarfs. But also, back to what I originally said, Snow White didn't even help the 7 Dwarfs clean. Like, she was teaching them to clean. And while they were cleaning, she was just not doing anything, you know, but just talking, maybe just singing or something. You feel me? So, yeah. When the trailer came out, just like not too recently at the time of this recording, yeah, people were hella nitpicking it, bro.
I do feel like people are pretty much always going to have a problem with that. For example, Rachel and this other woman, Gal Gadot, were out bragging about the fact that this was no longer going to be a love story, but now it was going to be a tale of women's empowerment, calling the old film outdated and creepy.
You said you were bringing a modern edge to it on stage. What do you mean by that?
I just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that
she's not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be. We have a different approach to what I'm sure a lot of people will assume is a love story just because, like, we cast a guy in the movie. It's really not about the love story at all, which is really, really wonderful. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby. Reality is that the cartoon was made 85 years ago, and therefore it's extremely dated when it comes to the ideas of women being in roles of power.
Also, the fact that she's not going to be saved
basically
by the
women
prince,
empowerment.
and she's the proactive one, and she's the one who set the terms.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm all for, like, modernizing a film, but to me, there are plenty of other Disney movies that are kind of all about showcasing women being badass, with kind of the core messaging being that a woman can do
create
anything
new
a man
movies. Like
can.
Frozen. Frozen was highly acclaimed, and I've never seen those movies. I'm pretty sure they're about hella women empowerment.
And for example, you got Mulan, you got the redheaded chick with the bow, and I'm sure there's many more. I'm just really not into Disney like that. Either way, when an early scene from the movie leaked, people everywhere were wondering why the hell they swapped out the iconic 7 Dwarfs to replace them with the Justice League of Diversity. Now, personally, I would have loved to see actual dwarfs being used in the making of this film, and I'm sure they could have made them well-loved characters helping the actors out with their careers. You know, it's not like there's a whole lot of work for little people in Hollywood. And this decision would prove to be a bad one. In fact, so bad that at first Disney lied and then had to double back to admit that this was the plan to use this weird cast of characters. And the outrage was actually so loud that Disney had to pretty much go back and refilm this entire movie, making it a $100 million blunder as they would now use CGI dwarfs instead of the Justice League crew. And now they won't even be calling them dwarfs anymore, and they will now be referring to them as magical creatures. In fact, they took the word dwarf straight out the title, regardless of Disney's attempt to right their wrongs and steer this massive ship in the right direction. Sometimes the waters are just too choppy, and no matter how you try and navigate a situation to try and fix it, the damage has already been done, and it goes down like the Titanic. It's like when your friend keeps going back to that toxic ex who keeps cheating on him. Like, good luck with that, dude. We already saw the trailer, and we know how this shit's gonna end. Now, speaking of trailers, over 10 months after all the drama, and a year after most of those interviews, the newly released version has come out, and it's actually rumored to be one of the most disliked videos in YouTube history. As you guys can see, the new release date is around a year after the original rendition of this film was set to come out. Here we get to see the CGI dwarves in action, cleaning up her room. I guess she just sees them as her little slaves now. Grumpy, you f***ing clean the toilet, you bitch. Obviously, we get to see Snow White played by Rachel herself, as well as the evil queen, Other Lady. And in general, people were still upset about this, as you could see by the dislikes.
Damn.
And most of the negative comments I saw, which was
nah. One of these was funny, bro. I remember seeing this. I'm rooting for the poison apple.
To the negative comments
my condolences to all the little people actor who denied 7 roles in the name of progress and tolerance.
I saw, which was pretty
making the door CGI so they don't have to hire dwarf actors as well.
Much like all of that.
It's all CGI. They call it live action weird. They're copying her, bruh.
We're mainly about
no dwarves are hired during the making of our film.
About the new CGI solution.
So instead of humanizing dwarf characters with actual actors, they decided to make them horrifyingly cartoonish with cringe-inducing CGI. Smart move. Alright, no more reading.
To the dwarf fiasco. I mean, just based on the trailer, this looks like just about every other Disney live-action remake we have gotten recently. A mixture of real people and shitty CGI. Like I said, something Disney has been known for a very long time. I mean, there's so many examples in their various movies of the CGI just not looking natural at all in the real-world environment. Like Roger Rabbit was looking better than this shit. And it's going on 40 years old. But I mean, hey, I might
Didn't
be
they say that like
the
girl from Harry Potter was in
just
it?
not looking natural at all in the
Emma Watson
real world environment. Like Roger Rabbit was looking better than this shit, and it's going on 40 years old. But I mean, hey, I might be biased towards Jessica Rabbit, cause goddamn.
It's like, why was her name Jessica Rabbit? Was she married to Roger Rabbit?
You know, back in the day, I would flip on that Cartoon Network, Roger Rabbit would be playing, I was like, should I be watching this? And don't get me wrong, I understand wanting to get a new generation of kids into something that is very successful for an entity like Disney. But there is always a right and a wrong way to do so. For example, back when I was a kid, I loved baseball. And one of my favorite movies was a cult classic film from the 70s called The Bad News Bears. A raunchy comedy about a ragtag team of misfits who tries to compete in a tough little league division. I already loved this movie, and in 2005 when they made an updated version to it, I couldn't have been more excited. And while the two movies are obviously different, as the new one had been brought into a modern era, especially with its humor, it still held close enough to its source material that it was very enjoyable. Whereas Snow White seems to be dead on arrival, based on decisions made in not only the creation of the film, but also by the lead character's offset. I really do think that Disney forgot about the sunk cost fallacy here, and they really should have taken this movie out back and shot it once the original negative feedback started rolling in. Now it really just feels like them showing up to a party that they weren't really invited to. Just look at how these two have changed their tone towards each other since that first interview only a year ago.
I'm always grateful, and I have to pinch myself for the love and the appreciation and the respect that we get from our incredible audience. So yes, I'm very, very lucky, grateful, and privileged for all this love.
I mean, Rachel won't even look her in the eyes at this point. After all the heat she's received
and the way she's talking, man, it's not believable.
This whole situation, I wouldn't be surprised if she despises both her, this film, and even her part in it, as what was supposed to be one of the biggest roles of her career and a true breakout opportunity could now put the nail in the coffin of her chances at stardom. I mean, when you really think about it, if everything would have gone right, this is a film that people might be watching for 30, 40, 50 years. Like, I'm talking about future generations of people going back and showing it to their kids like they did with the original Snow White. And it appears these two also might have tension due to their widely different political beliefs, which they both seem very passionate about.
Yeah, I'm like, didn't one support Palestine? And oh yeah, Gal Gadot is Jewish. She's Jewish, isn't she?
So I would not be surprised if their relationship has soured at this point, like milk left out in the Texas sun. But I want to know what you guys think about all of this down below.
Alright, you guys, so that was Jamari with the Snow White movie film. This can't be happening. You feel me? Yeah, bruh. You know what I'm saying? And again, like, you know, these films are cool to me personally, you know what I'm saying? But it doesn't deny that they're cult classics. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, sometimes they should just be held as that. You know what I'm saying? Treat them as that. You know, like, over the years, fans have gone at many movie creators, producers, directors, you know, creators of the movies, you know what I'm saying, especially remakes. Well, basically, all the movies are remakes. Fans have gone at movie creators about remakes, you know what I'm saying, because they're not done in the justice of which they have originally seen and interpreted. So, you know, a lot of movie people had to, like, you know, well, not even a lot. It's like now recently movie people are starting to cater more to the fans and bringing out, you know, that exact magic of, you know, the movie remade, you know what I'm saying, in a different light, but still hold that magic, that spark to it, you know what I'm saying. Because I know movies that don't do that, possibly will do it soon, but don't do that, is Star Wars. And many movies like Star Wars. But other movies, like, you know, yeah, like, it's good that movie people listen to the fans and stands, sure, I'll go that far, to, like, still hold the magic and, you know, the heartwarmingness of said series of movies, you know what I'm saying? But y'all let me know your thoughts about it down in the comment section down below. It's Boomer. You're watching Bali Star. Leave a like, support the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new. I'm going to catch y'all in the next one. 100. Oh!
Yeah.